Adjusting. There we go. Testing. Yep, adjusted. Alright. Turok here. New chapter, One Piece. I got still put out last week's chapter. This week was chaotic and I didn't have a chance to edit it out and fix up some of those stuff I did. I could not remember the names of some of the characters. And I'll write them in and stuff and edit it. So, where last time we had Luffy about to use his Gear 5th King Kong gun, I'm going to call it, probably not the right name, against Kaido, who turned into a fire dragon, like, almost like dragon, lava dragon, I'm going to call it, more or less, because he's like hot, he's like heating up his whole body to something akin to Kaido, Akainu, and is, this is like his ultimate attack in his dragon form, I'm assuming, for Kaido, and he's going up, he's not going to back down from Luffy's fist attack, and Luffy tells Momonosuke, get Onigashima the hell out of the way, I'm going to finish this right now, and Momonosuke is attempting to push it out of the way, because he still hasn't succeeded in doing the dragon flame things. And what actually bothers me, what actually I was thinking about is, perhaps Momonosuke can't do a lot with Onigashima because Kaido has control of it with his flames. Maybe the flames have to unfortunately go out and Momonosuke has to learn how to produce his own in order to move it himself. Maybe there's like resistance there, I'm saying, from Kaido's flames. And anyways, we got other people waiting for Luffy to finish the fight. We got the Hyogoro. I forgot his name again already. I tried to remember the names, but I'm doing a good job. I've just been watching Moon Knight, and I've just like forgotten the stuff I studied. But you got the other samurai waiting to see if Luffy can win. They know that if Luffy don't win, everyone's doomed. They know they're probably gonna die. They're willing, as long as Luffy wins, and then if the island drops, they don't care because they got family, sisters, daughters, wives, all that kind of stuff they reference, that they tell us about that. They wish to have a happy life even if they're not there anymore. And there's probably more, but I can't remember right now. Oh, that's right. Orochi's head got cut off by, I forgot his name. The cool looking samurai. The coolest samurai there, we'll call him. He just got the nice hair. It was when I think he was undercover the whole time, pretending to be working for Orochi, but he's really one of the other guard for Odin. I forgot that too. I'm doing great this week. I can't remember any of the names. So now let's get started. So right here we have 1049, and we're continuing first the Germans. Two German brothers who were captured, and they're in some kind of room where it looks like they were about to be tested on by Big Mom's kids, and some kind of fire is happening, and it looks like they're going to be able to escape. For a second there, it looked like the one closest to us had like an infinity gauntlet on, actually. And I got some, like, okay, he's just going to snap all the Big Mom kids out of existence. Anyways, I don't know who the other guys are there, but yeah, it looks like, oh yeah, one had a knife. They were definitely planning on dissecting Sanji's brothers. So, main event. Here we go. So now, we got a full spread shot from Onigashima. We see Kaido and Luffy's fist clashing. It says here, a fierce hockey clash. Who will prevail? And next we get a close-up. It looks like Kaido's trying to eat Luffy's fist, and Kaido compliments Luffy. Well played. And we show close up Luffy struggling to finish this, and it's a neat silhouette they got him in, with a lot of shadow around his eyebrows, above his forehead, his brow, and around his chest area. And Kaido continues, I have to hand it to you for coming this far, but you'll never be able to change the world. Okay, right there we got something to dissect. Just because you couldn't do it, Kaido, doesn't mean he can't. don't push your negativity outlook on the challenges of the world to say he can't do it. You don't know him yet. Yes, I see what's going on here too. Kaido, if Kaido's defeated, he'll probably say, oh, relent this idea and say, oh, maybe you can. I don't know. This is an infuriating thing I see with some of these villains. They think because they failed, someone else that comes along will too, because they think themselves perhaps the greatest, and that it's not until they're defeated that they realize, oh, maybe this person is better. By the way, I'm gonna get my tea here. Oh, we're getting an interesting flashback now. Finally. Oh, I think we're finally getting a Kaido flashback we've all been waiting for. Holy hell. So now we're showing some burning village and people complimenting about Kaido. And we see him, he's a kid here. And he's got the dark, shaggy, long hair. He's got the horn still. Let's see, he did it. He may only be 10 years old, but that Kaido kid is the strongest soldier around. And I think then we see him monologuing to himself, I'm still itching for more. And he's got his Kanabo too. Wow. Here we go. I think we're getting some other stuff. Alright, now we're jumping. 46 years ago. The Kingdom of Vodka. Ooh, I want to go to that place. Fox, right? 46 years ago. Kaido's 59, right? So he'd be 13? I think that's right. Our nation has no choice but to wage war. The loot we require is our only means of paying the celestial tribute. Right. All these islands have to pay tribute to the celestial dragons. If we fail to do that, we will lose our standing in the world. Oh, so someone's telling Kaido this, and he doesn't want to deal with the celestial dragons, which I understand. I don't think any of these pirates. I can say one thing: all the pirates in the world, I bet all the big names, they probably all have a mutual range of dislike to hatred toward the celestial dragons, and they could all agree on that. But their ways of going about to eliminate them was all so varied. We got Big Mom who wants to do it. Big Mom's idea is probably one of the better ones, but she's such a tyrannical leader in some ways. Because the way she's killed her kids, and her punishment to others that won't submit to her. It's just not the right way to go. But her idea of having everyone live in harmony is very nice and pretty. It's probably stemming back to her childhood. But Kaido and Blackbeard, they just seem to want to cause chaos. They just want to make everything fun. I think Blackbeard has more of an agenda going on that we'll hopefully find down the road. But the chaotic ideas is just not. So we have Kaido here, the teenager, yelling, why do the celestial dragons get to boss you around? And someone tells him, enough, Kaido. Oh, it's talking to a king, the king of the king. Alright, so Kaido must be causing trouble in the kingdom he grew up in. So vodka, okay. Oh no. So Kaido, okay, so the king here says, we offered you up for a navy enlistment, and Kaido's all chained up with a bunch of naval men around him, and he yells back to the king, you want me to be a government dog? So Kaido definitely has things against the government here. Again, understandable. And then the king responds, to be blunt, our country can't handle you. Oh, and there's some kind of exchange going on where they're getting concessions. We see a marine officer, a pursuing officer, saying if you hand him over now, you're guaranteed a seat in the next referee. Bargaining chip, that's a good name for it. So Kaido seems, I'm not a political bargaining chip. Now we jump ahead, so he's putting the ship, but now we see the marine ship, and it shows Kaido has escaped. Someone yells aloud, Kaido escaped, and we see a first wanted poster. Oh, what is that? So he was wanted for 70 million berries. Oh, okay, here's where it begins. Remember how Kaido eventually got captured multiple times and was, they tried to execute him many times. So that must have started when he was a young man, or I should say more of a teenager, it appears here. And now we see a bunch of Marines in awe and anger that he's escaped here, and they're saying, "Wait, we've already caught him. Did he really escape again? I heard he got caught on purpose. He gets caught on purpose when he's hungry. A prison ship isn't a buffet. Well, it is for someone like him, isn't it?" Oh, here we go. Now we jump to 2 years later. 44 years ago. Now we're on the pirate island. The one with the big skull. I forget his name. And we see Kaido has taken out some other pirate in a duel. And crowds around like, wow, he's so strong. Who is this guy? How can he be only 15? So 15, okay. 44 years ago. That's 15, yep. So he's 15 now. He looks more like he's almost an adult already, but they're showing him as a very burly figure here because it's a little further away. Oh, now we got Whitebeard. Wow, look at Whitebeard. So this is 44 years ago. Whitebeard was 74 when he died? He must be in his mid-30s, I'm going to guess, right? And Whitebeard says to Kaido, "Hey Brett, want to be a pirate? And Wax wants to meet you." So is Whitebeard already indentured of sorts into the crew? Probably so. And we see Kaido considering it. And yeah, he still doesn't have his mustache, his own trademark mustache yet. We see Whitebeard, he's got the mustache now. When we saw that early flashback of Whitebeard, probably in his 20s, I'm going to guess, when he probably started out as a pirate, he had the long flowing hair, but he didn't have his mustache yet. Now he's got it, but Kaido here has not yet to have it. But he's got those horns, so we still don't know much about those horns, do we? I was waiting to see if this would show us. We don't know nothing about. They didn't show us anything about his parents here, so I'm assuming he's orphaned. A very typical thing Oda does. So now we see other people talking about, like an over monologue. Or is that probably like other people talking about how Kaido's joined the Rock Pirates and now they'll be unstoppable. Now they're unstoppable. That he will round out a nice crew, won't he, though? And we see the ship, that must be Rox's ship going off to sea. Oh, now we're jumping ahead to the point in which they're going to go to God Valley, I think. Yep. Someone's telling, is that Big Mom? Or is that Kaido? Someone's telling Kaido, we're going to God Valley. Okay, now we're jumping ahead again. And we see a bunch of people talking about, pirates, I'm assuming, in awe that the Rock's crew has fallen. With all those monsters on the crew, and that Garp had defeated them. Oh, and then someone says, no, it can't be just Garp. There must have been infighting that did it. Yeah, that would make sense. I bet hey, that's interesting. I bet that did. What if Whitebeard refused to help out in that fight? Maybe he turned on that fight. So it was only like Rox and Big Mom and Kaido against Whitebeard, Garp, and Roger. A 3-on-3 fight would be a more fair thing, though we don't know much about Rox. So we got someone here telling me it can't be that. Like, don't screw me. Where did you go, Kaido? Wait, who is that? I'm not sure. But now we're jumping ahead again. It looks like this is 10 years after Rox's defeat, and is that woman who has the fruit, the shape-shifting fruit? What? I'm forgetting everyone's name. Forgive me, I'm just so bad at remembering everyone's name it is. Yeah, it's that shapeshifter one. It's got the fruit, goes like this, you know, can't think. I remember the character, I like that, I love that character, but I just cannot think of his name right now. And now this person says, now that she says, you've become, ever since then you've become the embodiment of brutality. Oh yeah, and now by this point he's got King with him. Is that Queen too, maybe? He's down, this must be, oh yeah, this is back on the Honeycomb Island, the Beehive Island, is that it? By now. And he's there with King, he's on some kind of throne with King to his right. I think that might be Queen, that's alright, his left. This person, and then, so she goes on, if you've studied history, humans have always resorted to brutality to solve the world's problems. But then again, humans are like any other animal. Survival of the fittest is our true nature. So we're seeing here, Kairos must have now, 10 years after he's formed his own crew. So he's 31 now then, he must be. They didn't say the years, but 10 years later, he'd be 31. He was 21, if I recall correctly, when he was at God Valley. Excuse me. Now we have Kairos saying, yes, I couldn't agree more. For now on, everything will revolve around the former members of the Rock's crew. And now he's got this mustache. Kairos now is looking like you could tell here he's basically in his prime. He's got the trademark look. He's less thick, like, I don't know, just different. Weapons shape the world we live in, what's her name goes on to say. With that in mind, I have a proposition for you. And so next we see Kaido coming out onto a balcony over all the city he's in, and I think it's him yelling, let's show all these peace-loving nobles the hellish reality of war. One's worth going to be truly engaged in battle, where everyone is equal and anarchy reigns free. Now, okay, so at this point, Yamato's already a little kid. And because here he goes, Yamato mentioned Joy Boy, not sure how that brat learned his name. And then King responds, apparently Odin wanted to open Wano to welcome Joy Boy. And King still hasn't got his mask on yet that we see later. If Joy Boy is the same man you're waiting for, King, goes Kaido, then I know who he is. And then King's like, oh wait, who could that be? And that's the end of the flashback. So we went through a lot there. So we start out with him as a kid, and he caused trouble in his kingdom. He didn't like the Celestial Dragons. Then he's sent off to work for the Marine to become conscripted into the Marines, but he escapes, and he's got an early bounty of 70 million, and he's so young. Well, I wonder if he must be one of the youngest characters now to have a high bounty like that. Because Luffy was 17 when he got 30 million. We know Crocodile was 81 million before his was frozen, but he was probably in his mid-20s. And Luffy's bounty jumped really high when he was 17, toward the end of before the time skip. So then we jump to where he was 15 and on the pirate island, and Whitebeard was there recruiting him on behalf of Rocks. Then we see him shortly right before he goes to God Valley, and then right after God Valley. And then we see him as an adult when he's preparing to form his own crew and take on the world. So now we're back to the present, and we're still seeing Luffy and Kaido clash, and we see that last CP0 member floating away from the, well, not floating away, they're using that trick that Sanji's learned from. He's leaving, he's essentially, I'm not even going to try, I don't remember all those names. He's leaving the report, he's getting the hell off the island, I guess. I guess they figured that room's not safe anymore. So now, we have someone saying, Luffy will win, I know it. It almost be Yamato. She's like, do it, Momonosuke. And Momonosuke's trying to still summon those clouds, and he's telling them, obey me, come forth. I need you now. That's our time of need. So now we're switching quickly to two panels of the flower capital where they're all releasing their candles into the sky and still celebrating. And we quickly though switch over to Kid in the interior part of Onigashima. Now I'm going to zoom in here. The tablet here. So now we flip over to Raizo and Jinbei using the water to try and put out the flames still. And we're seeing other people being afflicted by the flames with the water with probably being flushed away, I should say. So we got Robin and Brooke. Then we flip to some other pirates. I don't know who they are. Then we flip to the polar bear from Law's crew. Then we got Apu. Then we see Law and his other crew members. I forget that one's name, that one that joined them. Hey, Pinky. Hey, buddy. Not now. Hey, that's okay. Don't just sit there, though. So everyone's getting a little... And as much as this water is helping put out the fires, a lot of people get kind of tossed around with the water. Oh, and we got Sanji still trying to hang on to Kinemon and the others that he's with, because they're still out cold. And then we see Nami and oh, what's her name? Toki? No, that's not Toki. Otama. We've seen the water come toward them. So then there's an image there with showing Onigashima again. It looks like the flames are starting to fall apart and the rocks are falling down, so they don't have much time left. And then it switches over back to Sanji and Frankie, I think, trying to keep their bearings with the water. And then Sanji yelling, "Where's this water coming from?" And he's still hanging on to that girl who saved his life. Frankie's just like, "Be careful, you're going to get washed away." Now we're back to, oh, here we go. We're back to where Orochi, Hiyori, and what's his name are. And he compliments her for doing so well even after enduring all this suffering she had to do being around this asshole for decades. And we still see her crying. And is that him bowing to her presently? He bows to her. No, that must be an old scene of her bowing. And we still see Orochi's cut off head behind him, which is a little confusing to me. I thought, did he come with a special sword? Is he really dead then? So now we're switching back to the flame clouds falling all apart. Yeah, see, the flame clouds are dissipating now. So Kaido's probably putting so much concentration into trying to attack. I think he can't keep those flame clouds up. And Yamato's like, "This flame clouds are gone. This is not good. It's going to crash." and we got Momonosuke's the eye pop thing going out again. Now we're back to Kaido and Luffy. And Kaido asks Luffy, "Straw Hat, what kind of world do you wish to make?" And Luffy's just grinning, focusing on his fight. And we have a big wide open mouth from him. Trying to concentrate in the fight. Now we're switching back, and we have Momonosuke still trying to yell aloud to make his flame clouds appear, and it looks like it's starting to work. Yes, they're starting to work around him, around the island. You see it. We get a little shot here with Onigashima from the right, lower left side of it, looking up to the right, and we see Kaido and Luffy behind them still clashing. So then it goes back to Luffy starting to answer Kaido. "A world where my friends can eat as much as they like." That's a good one. I like that. It's very simple. And it looks like as he's starting to do it, he's pushing Kaido's face down. Like Kaido had his jaws, I think, up open against the Luffy's mouth before, but now it looks like he's starting to have his face pushed down against Luffy's fist. And he yells further, "That's my kind of world." And as he does it, it looks like he's finally turning Kaido's head away. Yeah, and his fist is coming back around. Like swinging, like it was like this, and now it's like successfully pushing him away. Yeah, he's pushing him down. Holy shit. And now it kind of looks like he's flying down to the ground. And as we do that, we're going back to Kaido's flashback where he said to King, "I know who Joy Boy is." Oh, that's prophetic. So Kaido's last line is, the last thing we're ending here is Kaido says to King, "Joy Boy is the man who will one day be able to beat me." If that's true. And King just says, "If that's true, I don't think he'll ever appear." And as we're selling off, we're seeing a couple more messages from the people of Flower Capital talking about, please vanquish the scary dragon. Wait, what? Okay, resume the pause moment. So, wow. So we have the last couple messages of the sit back. The Flower Capital citizens, and the last two things are the most important ones we've seen yet, I would say. Please vanquish the scary dragon and restore the Kozuki clan. And now it looks like, and now we have the last few scenes. We have first Kaido's falling down to the ground. His head has hit the ground first from the last panel. His rest of his body is falling with him, and we see Onigashima, I guess it's like landing there. And the last two panels are Kaido and Luffy side by side, both like out of it. Like Kaido especially. He almost looks like he's in a drunk sleep. And we see Luffy just still like upside down. Yeah, hanging upside down, and he's what do you call it? Just out of breath. Someone's gonna have to probably catch him again. He's probably falling out of the sky. And there's gonna be a break. We gotta wait till the 26th. Shit. Well, I think it's over, guys. Holy shit. Kaido defeated. I really never thought I'd see this day. When Kaido got introduced, I just could not see how Luffy was gonna beat him. Even though we knew about Awakenings, I really hadn't thought about that. Luffy achieving that yet. And I just like, Luffy's Gear Force was impressive, but it took all of that he had with his base one, Bounce Man, to beat Doflamingo. And then likewise with his Snake Man to beat Katakuri, who was both potent foes, but with Katakuri, like, wow, he's amazing, but his mom is still there, and Luffy had no chance against her. And we know that her and let's see if I do that. Her and Kaido are like on par with each other. Even if like Kaido could beat her in one-on-one eventually, it's like just, you know, Big Mom was like this overpowering shadow to Luffy in the last arc. So like, how is he gonna take on her? If he can't take on her, how would he take on Kaido? And then Gear 5th came along. And then there was also obviously the advanced hockey. It was like, okay, now he can damage him, but can he wear him down? Can Luffy wear Kaido down enough? And it was like, didn't think so. He needed the Scabbards. I just finally thought with the Scabbards, the other guy was part of the Scabbards. I couldn't think of the name. The bodyguard to Oden. The Scabbards went up against him. Then Luffy and Zoro and Kid and Law and Killer all went up against Kaido when I say him. And that Big Mom was there too, so that was a tough fight for all five. They were going up against two of the greatest pirates, not just the one. Either one of them, I think. I didn't even think all five would be able to take on even one of them by themselves. But then we just found out that Kid and Law had their awakenings, and their attacks together were able to knock down, possibly knock out Big Mom, get her out of the picture at least. And now here we are. Luffy's got his awakening. Oh, and there's my tea kettle. And now he's got his awakening. So now Luffy's got his awakening and his wacky mask powers, and it's just thrown a whole new ideas of how combat can be done in One Piece, at least from his perspective, and how, like I said, I think that'll balance out his fight with Whitebeard. It'll be him and Whitebeard. I cannot wait for Luffy and Whitebeard to go up. I'm also, and on a side note, I'm wondering if Luffy will develop Gear 4th like shape form for Gear 5th, where Snake Man especially is awesome. I love the Snake Man transformation. I wonder if he'll develop something like that where he can increase the speed even more if he really puts his mind to it, because this seems to be an imagination based power now to some degree. But wow, we finally got a kind of this. Actually, This is also a little disappointing because Kaido, we were waiting for a Kaido flashback for a long time, but we didn't. Instead of getting like a multi-chapter one, who else had it? What? Did any other villains have some? Yeah, Doflamingo's chat. I was waiting to see if we'd get something more like on par with Doflamingo's. How many chapters was his? I'll have to look it up. Yeah, Doflamingo had a fairly extensive background story that was given to us. I'm thinking over a couple chapters at least, maybe more. But we only got like about half a chapter here. Although I think it was quite enough to really give us a good picture. Oda did a good job here in giving us what we needed to know while not giving us too much, particularly about God Valley. We didn't know too much about that because I know we're still going to wait for that. I don't know who will be the one to be telling us that story. Probably Blackbeard, I would guess. But his kid story of him as a kid is very interesting. But now I have a little more respect for Kaido here. I was just talking in the beginning how annoyed I was that he was saying you'll never be able to change the world. But maybe that was just Kaido trying to challenge Luffy to be better than himself. It's just really sad that Kaido's such a douchebag in every other way. Well, he does have honor in fighting too, we gotta give him that. But the way he's treated the citizens of Wano all this time doesn't really allow him forgiveness. Anyways, that's the chapter review. Oh, what a show. What a fight. How long has it been since they started fighting Kaido? I don't know, 50 chapters, but we jumped back and forth. Luffy's been fighting him for what? It had to be the last 5 chapters or so? Well, we had another flashback the last time. Anyways,